Ringy presents.
Pulse of the sales industry. Stay ahead of the game. Latest news, latest trends. Nothing ever stays the same. Market shifting every day. Gotta know what's coming your way. Stay informed, stay on top. We bring you every drop.
Pulse of the sales industry by Ringy. Let's get into it.
Imagine walking up to, like, a complete stranger on the street, just shoving a clipboard in their face and demanding they give you their social security number and a credit card.
I mean, they would probably run in the opposite direction or call the cops.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yet every time an insurance agent slaps this giant, flashing, get a quote now button on their homepage, they're doing the exact same thing to their digital prospects. You're asking for a massive commitment before you've even bothered to say hello.
Yeah, it's too much too fast.
Yeah.
And in 2026, that old transactional sales funnel is officially broken. Consumers are so bombarded by algorithm-driven suggestions and automated emails every single second of the day.
Oh, for sure. Our inboxes are a nightmare.
Exactly. And because of that, they've developed this incredibly thick armor against anything that looks or even sounds like a traditional sales pitch, which means the ground has fundamentally shifted under the entire industry.
It really has.
The modern consumer psychology has completely changed. That old numbers game approach of, just buying leads and dialing for dollars, it simply does not yield the same results it did even, 5 years ago.
Okay, let's unpack this because that is exactly what we are focusing on today in this deep dive. We are looking at a comprehensive marketing trends report from the Agent Support Network of America, or ASNOA, alongside some very revealing feature data from a communications-focused CRM platform called Ringy.
It's some really fascinating data, honestly.
It is. And our mission today is to cut through all that overwhelming industry noise. Because whether you're a seasoned independent agent who's been doing this for 30 years or a brand new producer trying to figure out how to compete against those massive direct-to-consumer carriers, we're going to extract a practical roadmap for you.
A very actionable one.
Yes. We're pulling out 3 specific, quick-win strategies you can execute right now to combine modern tech with the irreplaceable human touch.
And to really set the stage for those strategies, we have to understand the core theme running through all the data we're looking at today. Because if we synthesize the ISNOA report, the ultimate currency of 2026 is, without a doubt, trust.
Trust. Yeah, makes sense.
We're living in an era where generative AI is completely mainstream. I mean, anyone with a laptop can generate a perfectly formatted, highly persuasive marketing email in about 3 seconds flat.
Yeah, the barrier to entry for content is basically 0 now.
Exactly. And because of that endless flood of slick AI-generated content, consumers have grown deeply skeptical of aggressive expertise. What they actually want, and honestly what they'll pay a premium for, is calm confidence and total transparency.
I love that phrase, calm confidence.
Every single strategy we look at today operates under that umbrella of trust-based messaging.
Which, it totally tracks. You can't just shout, "Trust me," from a billboard. Trust is a byproduct of behavior, right? So if demanding an immediate quote is acting like that aggressive stranger on the street with the clipboard, how does the ASNOA report suggest an independent agent actually initiate a relationship today?
Well, the report recommends a complete inversion of the traditional approach. Instead of trying to extract value from the prospect immediately, like grabbing their contact info for a quote, you have to offer them value first. They use the term value-first lead magnets.
Okay, value first.
Right, because prospects today are actively hesitating to request quotes. They want clarity and confidence long before they actually speak to an agent. They want to know the rules of the game before they play.
So what does a value-first lead magnet actually look like in practice? Like for a local independent agent?
It's usually a piece of highly specific educational content that solves an immediate anxiety for the consumer. So instead of a quote now button, an agency website might offer a downloadable guide titled, say, what most homeowners' policies actually don't cover.
Oh, that's good because everyone worries about the fine print.
Exactly. Or, a turning 65 checklist for people approaching Medicare age who are feeling totally overwhelmed by their options, or even a short on-demand webinar about emerging cyber risks for local small business owners.
It's like offering to buy that stranger a cup of coffee and just having a casual conversation. Rather than getting down on one knee and asking them to marry you, you're solving a problem for them without asking for anything in return other than, well, their attention.
What's fascinating here is the psychological shift this creates. By offering a short-term rental coverage checklist to someone who's, say, thinking about putting their house on Airbnb, you are no longer a salesperson trying to hit a quota.
You're helping them out.
Right. You position yourself immediately as an educator, a trusted advisor. And beyond just the psychology, there is a very real technical mechanism at play here regarding search engine optimization, or SEO.
Wait, how does offering a free checklist help an agent rank higher on Google? I thought SEO was all about keywords.
It's about keywords, sure, but it also comes down to something search engines call dwell time.
Goodbye.
Yeah. If a prospect clicks your website to get a quote, realizes they aren't ready, and clicks away after 5 seconds, Google sees that. And it essentially downgrades your site's relevance.
Because it looks like the person didn't find what they were looking for.
Exactly. But if that same prospect clicks on your site and spends 6 minutes reading your comprehensive guide on short-term rental liability, Google's algorithm recognizes that your site provides high-value answers, so it naturally boosts your ranking and more people in your area find you.
That is brilliant. It serves the human being and the algorithm at the exact same time. And this concept pairs perfectly with short-form video, right? Like things like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts.
It does, yeah. The SNOA report highlights short-form video as one of the most powerful brand-building tools in insurance today. But, and this is a crucial detail you do not need and probably shouldn't even use, studio-quality production.
Because highly polished, overproduced videos trigger that exact consumer skepticism we were just talking about. It feels like a commercial.
Exactly. What works way better is an agent just, walking down the street, holding their phone, and authentically explaining why a specific neighborhood might need a different kind of hail coverage. It completely humanizes the brand.
Okay, but hold on. Let me look at this from the perspective of an independent agent. Play devil's advocate for a second. My expertise is essentially my inventory, right? It's what I sell.
Sure.
If I spend my time making free videos explaining coverage trade-offs and giving away checklists of what policies don't cover, what stops a prospect from taking all my hard work, educating themselves for free, and then just going online to buy a bare-bones cheap policy from a faceless direct-to-consumer carrier.
It's a fair question, and it is the most common fear agents have when they adopt this model. But the data proves otherwise. The goal of educational content isn't just to transfer raw information. The actual goal is establishing familiarity.
Familiarity over facts.
Right. Direct-to-consumer carriers can offer a cheap price, but they cannot replicate human familiarity. When you consistently show up on video, speaking plainly, you become a known entity. You become their insurance person in their mind.
Oh, I see.
By the time that prospect has read your guide and realizes just how complex their short-term rental liability actually is, they don't want a website anymore. They want the specific expert who already made them feel safe and informed.
That makes total sense. Okay, so let's play this out realistically. Say you put up this great Turning 65 checklist, it hits a nerve locally. Suddenly you have 50 people downloading it on a random Tuesday.
A good problem to have.
A great problem.
Yeah.
But a solo agent, or even a small agency, is going to completely drown trying to email all 50 of those people manually while still, picking up the phone and servicing their existing clients. How does the SNOA data suggest surviving that kind of bottleneck?
Well, that bottleneck is the exact reason the industry is shifting so heavily toward automation and hyper-personalization at scale. If you're relying on manual follow-ups or sending generic one-size-fits-all email newsletters to your entire contact list, you are going to be left behind. In 2026, marketing is driven by first-party data.
Which is the data clients willingly give you.
Okay.
Right, because third-party tracking cookies are essentially a thing of the past at this point.
Precisely. First-party data is the gold mine you already own. It's knowing their life stage, like, are they a new homeowner or a retiree? It's their communication preference. Do they respond faster to a text or an email?
Okay, got it.
So if you have 50 people downloading a guide, you have to be segmenting those people based on that data and using technology to handle the immediate follow-up.
And this is where AI and automation have transitioned from being like a luxury for big agencies to being an absolute baseline requirement for everybody. The report does stress that AI shouldn't replace the agent. Nobody wants to buy a complex life insurance policy from a chatbot.
No, definitely not. The AI is there to handle the repetitive, mind-numbing tasks. If we connect this to the bigger picture, today's consumers have been conditioned by giants like Amazon and Uber to expect near instantaneous responses.
We want our tracking updates right now.
Exactly. If they interact with your business, they expect a seamless, immediate reaction. Automation bridges the gap between those incredibly high consumer expectations and the reality of an independent agent's very limited time.
This brings us right to the feature data we have from Ringy CRM. Because Ringy is built specifically as a communications-focused CRM, looking at their tools shows us the exact mechanism of how an agent survives that Tuesday bottleneck.
Yeah, they have some great tools for this.
Let's say that prospect visits your site and downloads the rental guide. Because Ringy integrates directly with your website's form, the moment they hit submit, the CRM instantly tags their profile with short-term rental interest. Right, and that specific tag automatically triggers a pre-written SMS drip campaign. So 5 minutes after they get the guide, their phone buzzes with a highly personalized text message saying, "Hi, saw you grab the rental guide. Let me know if you have any questions about the liability section." You didn't lift a single finger.
Exactly. The system is warming that lead up in the background. The prospect feels seen, attended to, and most importantly, they feel like they're interacting with a highly responsive professional.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Think of a smart CRM like Ringy as a highly efficient sous chef in a busy restaurant kitchen. The sous chef is in the back, meticulously chopping all the vegetables, prepping the complex sauces, getting everything perfectly organized on the line.
Doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah. That way, you, the head chef, only have to step in at the very end to cook the final dish. You get to focus entirely on the high-value action of building the relationship and closing the sale because the software handled all the tedious prep work.
I love that analogy. It's spot on.
But wait, let me push back again. If trust is the ultimate currency, doesn't automating your text messages and emails run the risk of feeling inherently robotic? Like, if I get a text that I know was sent by a machine, doesn't that instantly kill the authentic relationship we just built with that educational video?
It can if it's executed poorly. And that is the defining tightrope agents are walking right now. The difference between feeling robotic and feeling magical comes entirely down to segmentation.
How so?
Well, if you use an automated system to blast your entire database with the text that says, "Do you need insurance? Call my office," then yes, that is spam. It destroys trust immediately.
So how do you do it right?
By tying the automation to highly specific, relevant triggers, for example, using your CRM to automatically send a localized weather risk alert via text message, but only to clients who live in a specific zip code right before a major hailstorm hits.
Oh, wow. That's super specific.
Or setting up an automated email sequence that triggers exactly 60 days before a specific client's auto-renewal date, offering a tailored policy review.
Because it is highly relevant to their specific situation in that exact moment. They don't care that a machine sent it, because the information itself is incredibly valuable.
Exactly. When the automated communication is deeply relevant, the client feels like their agent is incredibly attentive and always looking out for them.
So we know how to talk to prospects by providing educational value first. And we know when to talk to them by using CRM triggers to follow up instantly. But where is this conversation actually taking place? This brings us to a major focus of the AS&OA report, Mastering the Omnichannel Local Presence.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge that the modern client journey is just not a straight line anymore. In the past, someone saw a billboard and called the phone number. Today, it's a pinball machine.
A pinball machine, that's a great way to put it.
A prospect might see that short-form video you posted on Instagram on Monday. Then on Wednesday, they remember it and visit your website to read a blog post. On Friday, they interact with your automated chatbot to ask a quick question. They receive an automated text message from your GRIP campaign on Saturday. And then finally, on Tuesday of the following week, they pick up the phone to actually call you.
They're bouncing across 5 different mediums before they ever even become a lead. And this is where things often fall apart for agencies, isn't it? Your messaging, your tone, and your branding must be seamlessly consistent across every single one of those touch points.
It has to be cohesive.
Because if your social media videos are warm, friendly, and plain-spoken, but your automated emails sound like a rigid, intimidating legal document, that disconnect breaks the trust instantly. The consumer feels like they're dealing with 2 completely different companies.
But there is a crucial differentiator here for independent agents. This is where they have a massive structural advantage over those giant national carriers. You have to tie that omnichannel digital presence directly back to your local community roots.
Keeping it local.
Always. Despite all this digital shifting and AI advancement, local trust remains one of the most powerful forces in the insurance industry.
The report really emphasizes this. Like, you can't just hide behind a computer screen optimizing your SEO all day. You still need to sponsor the local Little League team. You need to partner with local realtors or financial advisors. You should be hosting those educational workshops in person at the community center. People desperately want to know who they are working with, not just what they're buying.
This raises an important question, though, a logistical one. If you're running all of this sophisticated digital marketing, the automated texts, the segmented emails, the drip campaigns, how do you ensure that your digital outreach feels just as localized as your in-person networking? How do you prevent your digital systems from making you look like a faceless call center halfway across the country?
This is where I want to bring Ringy back into the conversation, because the way their technology bridges this exact gap is brilliant. Let's say it's finally time to make that outbound phone call to the prospect who's been reading your emails. I don't know about you, but if my phone rings and it's a toll-free 800 number or an area code from 3 states away, I'm absolutely not answering it.
No way. I assume it's spam or a scam or some robocall.
We all do. The psychology of caller ID has completely changed.
It really has.
Exactly. So Ringy has a feature built into their CRM called Local Caller ID. When an agent uses the platform to call a prospect, the software automatically matches the agent's outbound phone number to the prospect's local area code. It dynamically changes.
Which is incredibly powerful. Seeing a local area code signals immediate familiarity. It bypasses that initial wall of skepticism. Statistically, it dramatically increases your answer rate.
Because they think, oh, this is someone in my town.
Exactly. And ultimately, getting the prospect to pick up the phone so you can have that unscripted human-to-human advisory conversation is the entire goal of this massive digital ecosystem we've been discussing.
So what does this all mean? How do we visualize this? I like to think of this omni-channel strategy like a surround sound system in a high-end home theater. You don't need the volume to be blasting at maximum to make an impact. But the audio does need to be perfectly synchronized from every single speaker in the room.
That's a really good way to think about it.
If the dialogue coming out of the back left speaker is a half-second delayed from the front right speaker, the whole illusion is ruined. It's disorienting. Your website, your local caller ID, your text strips, your Little League sponsorship, they all have to play the exact same synchronized tune of trust and value.
They all feed into each other.
But I do want to point out a seeming contradiction in the ASNOA report here. In one paragraph, it clearly states that clients expect to see you on multiple channels, the omni-channel approach. But then literally a few pages later, it says that as an agency, you don't need to be everywhere. How can both of those things be true?
I know it sounds like a contradiction, but it's really about the concept of intentional alignment. Omnichannel doesn't mean omnipresent. You do not need to have an active, exhausting presence on every single new social media app that launches.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right. You don't need to force your agency onto a platform if your target demographic simply isn't spending time there.
You don't need to be doing TikTok dances if you specialize in commercial trucking insurance.
Exactly. Please don't. The rule is that the channels you do choose to use, for example, your core website, your Google business profile, and your CRM's text and email systems, those must be perfectly connected and highly responsive. It is far better to be exceptional and deeply interconnected on 3 channels than to be mediocre, disjointed, and unresponsive on 10.
Quality over quantity, but the quality has to be synchronized.
And when you intentionally align those digital channels, it actually amplifies your real-world local marketing. Someone meets you at a community event, they look you up on their phone, they see a highly professional, value-driven digital presence, and it cements their trust.
It closes the loop.
It does. That local trust creates referrals. And across all the data, referrals remain the single highest converting channel in the entire insurance industry. When you combine local trust with an efficient digital system, you create an engine that direct-to-consumer algorithms simply cannot beat.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today, pulling apart the mechanics of where this industry is heading. So let's bring it all back together. If you are an independent agent looking to not just survive, but truly thrive in 2026, here's the practical summary of the 3 quick win strategies we've unpacked.
Let's hear them.
Number 1, ditch the immediate sales pitch. Flip your funnel by offering value-first educational content. Use downloadable guides and authentic, unpolished short-form video to build familiarity and boost your search rankings long before you ever ask to run a quote.
Crucial first step.
Number 2, embrace hyper-personalization at scale. Don't drown in manual follow-ups. Use platforms like Ringy CRM to take the first-party data your clients give you and automate the tedious work through AI, smart SMS, and perfectly timed drip campaigns. Let the software be your digital sous chef.
I'm stealing that sous chef line, by the way.
Feel free. And number 3, master the omni-channel local presence. Blend a consistent multi-channel digital approach with deep, real-world community ties, and utilize tools like local caller ID to ensure that your digital outreach feels just as familiar and local as your handshake.
If there's one overarching takeaway for you listening right now, it is this. Marketing in 2026 is not about blindly chasing every new technological trend. It is about using technology strategically to enhance your human relationships.
Yes, exactly.
It's about using these automated tools to prove to your clients consistently and calmly that you are looking out for them. The ultimate goal of the technology is to handle the volume so that you, the expert, can handle the value.
Handle the volume so you can handle the value. That is the perfect summary. We started this deep dive talking about the fracturing of that old transactional model and how the aggressive get-a-quote-now mentality is essentially dead. We established that in a world flooded with AI-generated content, human trust is the ultimate currency.
It's the only thing that matters now.
But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, something that pushes just a bit beyond the data in our sources today. If AI tools continue to advance at this breakneck pace, if we reach a point where they become so incredibly sophisticated that they can perfectly, flawlessly mimic human empathy in every single email, text, and chatbot interaction, will the consumers of the future actually prefer the flawless, frictionless, instant efficiency of the AI?
That is the million-dollar question.
Or will the unique, unscripted, slightly imperfect nuances of a real face-to-face human conversation become the ultimate, highly sought-after luxury service in the insurance world?
It really is the defining question for the next decade of the industry. As technology becomes invisible, humanity might just become the premium product.
Definitely something to think about the next time you pick up the phone to call a client. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.
Also the sales industry. Stay ahead of the game. Latest news, latest trends. Nothing ever stays the same. Market shifting every day. Gotta know what's coming your way. Stay informed, stay on top. We bring you every drop.
Pulse of the sales industry by Ringy.